What are we playing? We are playing Arcade Spirits. We've been playing this for the last few Mondays. We're getting pretty far. Let's get our mouse clicking. I'm gonna turn up the volume just a little bit for viewing pleasures. The viewing pleasures, I'm turning up the sound. That makes sense. Yeah. Last time on Arcade Spirits, we lost our job. Our arcade founder kind of died on us, and her daughter sold the arcade to the evil corporation arcade, who fired everyone except for Gavin, who quit, and except for me, I also quit. And then I got all depressed and funky, and then there was an intervention and a wake intervention, I believe it may have been called. And during that wake intervention, we decided to start our own arcade with blackjacks and not hookers, and we decided to make it a conventional arcade with an esports theme and something else. I can't remember the methods in it. But we opened it. We went with Percy as our financial backer, because we like Percy. Percy's good people. And so we've had our grand opening. We're going through our grand opening. I think there was someone doing credit card fraud that we kind of made them leave. Yeah. Someone offered us black market video game hard drives. Kind of turned them down. And now we have this lady. This lady, I believe, is equivalent of press, maybe. This is Genie the Fame, which I don't know. It's very Phoenix right there. And I need to hydrate before I try to do voices. Remember to hydrate before you attempt to do voices. Very important. I remember you. Oh no, I don't remember her at all. Maybe she may have been at the auction, and we may have gone in an arcade cabinet that she wanted or something. Maybe. My guess. My dear, wonderful Josh. Oh, she's someone else. Okay. My dear, wonderful Josh had a miserable time in your arcade at that birthday party. You and your lanky friends implied that my Josh wasn't smart enough to know how the coin slots work. Okay, yeah. Her son put his quarters in, or tokens, into a slot that someone else was using because it's a side-by-side driving game. And he was supposed to put it in the bottom slot, he put it at the top slot, or vice versa, as a thing. And she had a huff. She was like, rah, and she went away. That's exactly the flashback. Rah, run away. Anyways. You and your lanky friends implied my Josh wasn't smart enough to know how a coin slot worked. Well, this arcade... Oh, sorry. This is my voice? This is my lines, ma'am? Well, this arcade was fun while it lasted. She's not happy. Might as well burn it down to the ashes and build a new arcade on those ashes 100 years from now after this blows over. That's how you get Dracula. Doing things every 100 years, that's just asking for Dracula. Before I can try to defend myself, she holds up a hand to stop me. Now, while I seriously question the wisdom of allowing you to run an arcade, I would love nothing more than to give you 0 stars and walk away immediately. I am unfortunately committed by ethical standards to stay and properly review your establishment in a relatively unbiased fashion. So, as unpleasant as this may be for both of us, I suggest we remain professional. Even if you've dug yourself a rather deep hole to climb out of, in my view. Understood? Space Invader. Even if I want to go on a tirade or chew her out, I've got to think for the arcade. This isn't some rando angry parent. Not this time. Feels like chewing ground glass, but I need to swallow my pride on this. Understood. Excellent. What I need from you now is to stay out of my way. No special treatment or considerations. I need to observe your arcade as a disinterested outside party, so I can judge your facility and atmosphere. But rest assured, if I see some egregious mistakes, I will bring it to your attention pointedly. My readers likewise will become very aware of your shortcomings. I do my best to support consumer activism, and that requires absolute honesty of any difficulties I observe. So until such time as I require you, I suggest we speak no further. Agreed? Oh, I don't know why I gave her, like, that voice. Sure, fine. As you were, then. I kind of, like, did, like, Southern lawyer, but, like, I've an up an octave just to be fun. Wonderful, just wonderful. Not only does she hate us right off the bat, but you can't even leap to the defense of what we've built here without antagonizing her further. Maybe we should bribe her. That seems like a good thing. Excuse me. My phone. Phone is powerfully active right now. I apologize. I apologize, Nightbot. Yes, please come to my Discord if you want to discuss my voice work. I may need to talk to Gavin about how to save Super Duper Fun Cave Uwu. Oh yeah, that's the name of our arcade too. From an inevitable negative review. Yeah, don't worry about reviews. Nothing else I can do now but pray to the arcade gods that everything from here on out goes perfectly. Once again, I wander the floor, but this time, while it's all smiles and pleasantries on the outside, I'm left all alone battling my thoughts. This is certainly not helping my anxiety, mind you. Being under the magnifying glass means anything can go wrong. Will go wrong in spectacular fashion. Report it on across every arcade enthusiast website in existence. No, wait, stop. Bad thinking. Don't assume things will go wrong. Besides, the morning wasn't too eventful. Who's to say the afternoon will be a disaster? Bum bum bum. Oh yeah. I was having like age-inspired moment. This is where the uwu came in. And then the afternoon was a disaster. Oh no. Knew I'd spoken too soon the second I saw Gavin approaching me, with a tingle of worry furrowing his brow.
Utterly ridiculous.
Let's hydrate. It shouldn't... No, that wasn't right. It shouldn't be possible for us to be out of nachos in the vending machines this fast, and yet we are. I have receipts for ordering exactly enough to fill them, and yet, well, only a few bags in there. A missed delivery, perhaps? And that was the least of our problems. We had got an electrical problem. 3 of the retro games have shorted out. I don't understand. I tested the power supplies outright. Outright rebuilt a few of them. Uh-oh, do we have arcade ghosts? We dealt with arcade ghosts earlier. Unless someone's seriously scuffling their sneakers and shocking the coin boxes, we're talking a failure somewhere in our electrical wing. Wiring, I can read. Calamity and catastrophe just keep on piling up.
What?
Oh yeah, I forgot your new costume, Ashley. It's less scary than your previous one, but it's very bright. All the toilets stopped working, all of them. We need to call a plumber fast, and not the one that jumps on turtles. That's a Mario joke. Anxiety rises. What are we gonna do? Poop in the nacho machine. There we go. It solves all the problems. It can be a game too. This doesn't make any sense. I'm freaking out.
What?
Oh, sorry, you were speaking, Naomi. Sorry. I'm freaking out. I'll admit it. I'm freaking out. Maybe we should close down for today. Iron out the wrinkles. Try again tomorrow. We are hastily losing our grip on things. If I don't say anything, we may as well call it quits. Must refocus our energy. Command the troops, relieve tension, ask for help. I think everything's going wrong. Let's not do humor right now. We could ask for help. Let's command the troops. Let's just go for it. No way. We're not giving in just because of a few bugs in our system. We are the Funplex Expatriates, the proud crew of Super Duper Fun Cave Uwu. Did we give up when Deco came knocking? Hell no. We aren't giving up now. I want to hear some solutions. Talk to me, Ashley. Group exchanges nervous glances, then thankfully stops to breathe and think.
Ooh.
I will become the plumber we need. Oh, I mean, not exactly, but I'll grab a plunger and do what I can. We'll have to close down the bathrooms for now, but I'm sure we can convince one of our neighbors to loan us theirs, maybe. Oh, I don't want you plungering in your outfit, though. That's terrible. I'll check next door with them before I go do battle with our demonic possessed toilets. And while I'd say the vending machine issue is human error, I have enough faith in my own error checking to say this human is not responsible. I'll make some calls with our distributors and see where the chain broke down. Also see about ordering some quick replacement stock. Mine's a bit more complex. I need to replace the fried power supplies, but I can do that. I can do most of those today. Meanwhile, I'll put in a feeler out to the indie arcade community online, see if we can get an electrician with arcade experience out here quickly. I've been meaning to get back into online groups, and even this means popping my head up in a crowd. I'll do it. Okay, good solutions, people. Good solutions. I won't be able to work the floor while I'm taming our toilet restrooms, Acryli. Are you good for covering for me? Things seem to be getting more intense as the day picks up. oh, this is good. You three focus on your tasks at hand. I may be the boss, but I was a floor attendant originally. I can handle whatever super duper fun cave uwu throws at me. I guess we should have hired someone. Got it? Gotcha. But I'm changing out of this first. I don't want to get poo water all over my new mascot. Doodles. That's very true. That's a good face about thinking about poo water. Like, I don't want to deal with poo water. I'm on it. You can count on me. Yay, teamwork. I don't know if Naomi's put our argument behind her, or if she's too focused on what's happening now to really linger on it. Oh yeah, she created a little mascot for a video game by reusing a mascot from another video game, and we didn't want to get sued, so we took it down. And she's mad. I know I'm too focused on myself, even if I do have a lingering worry. With all three busy, that leaves me in charge of every problem that may emerge for the rest of the afternoon. No way to tap out with someone to help me with these situations. Or no. I need to work fast to hit every problem before it's too late. Can't leave any stones unturned this time. No risk of letting something spiral out of control. Oh no. But I'm ready. I mean, I have to be. No choice. Feeling freshly invigorated, I start my floor tasks. There are problems all around me, but what should I tackle first? I've never known arcade attendance. I've been to many arcades, and you know, they mainly just let you do it, wander around, as long as you're not breaking things. This is a hydrate heavy stream. Cursing and banging as someone beats up a machine. Crowd gathering around a new posters Juniper designed. Doesn't sound like a bad thing. The video wall keeps showing pictures of bunnies. Let's deal with that. That doesn't sound like a bad thing, but deal with that. The retro television based video wall was an idea I came up with during renovation. Naomi runs the whole thing off a cheap mini computer too. Practical and inexpensive. And what gives it just a perfect it gives it just a perfect amount of flair. And I've been pretty proud of it up until this moment. For some reason, it's just showing a nature documentary about cute and fluffy bunnies instead of retro music videos and arcade high scores. Look at the bunnies. Yeah, they're kissing and they're having lunch together. They're like, hello, how are you? And the other one's like, I'm doing very fine. The grass is quite lovely today, isn't it? Yes, it's jolly good grass. Nom nom nom. Anyways, not that bunnies are a bad thing necessarily. There are so many worse things that could be playing, but it's still not playing what I wanted to play. Something's amiss. Okay, you know what? We have like a super AI assistant who was willing to do unsafe or work beyond its programming to do things for us. And what if Deco Nami also has an AI that's doing stuff for them? Maybe we're being like hacked. Maybe I've seen too much hackers. And as I'm hunting around for the remote control, we keep at the prize desk. Teo approaches. Bunnies, huh? Yep, bunnies. Interesting choice, Acrylic. It's not my choice, Teo. I'll have to have it fixed in a moment. Okay, cool. I was wondering if we suddenly experienced a paradigm shift in arcade theming or something. The bunnies are really cute, though. Grabbing the remote, I flick it back to channel 3, which should take the video feed from Naomi Systems. And it flips back to the bunnies on channel 5 a few seconds later. Persistent, aren't they? Almost like the rabbits themselves. So I click back to channel 3. Nope, once again it reverts back to channel 5. Okay, clearly we're dealing with a master hacker. One who can modify Naomi's system despite having no physical access to it. An individual capable of truly hacking the planet. It is a hacker's remark. Yeah. Or it's a prankster with a universal TV remote. I got one of those myself. Helps me to turn off overly loud TVs in bars, which drown out the beats of whatever game I'm playing. Not that I would ever do that, mind you, just in case. But with great power comes great responsibility. Clearly, whoever is forcing us to watch this lacks the latter. How about I go subtly check the crowd, see if anyone's got a clear line of sight and is pointing a gadget at the video wall each time you change it. I'm strapped for help, so I'm not gonna deny Teo's offering. Sure, go for it. I mean, honestly, if someone's hacking and they're just like giving you buddy pictures, that's probably not the worst thing in the world. The war for remote control continues another minute. Back and forth from music video to documentaries about rabbits. And it's showing them mating. Which I'm seriously hoping does not count as pornography, or it'll be yet another black mark against us with a certain arcade critic. It's only been a few minutes, but it feels like an eternity of populating Lagomorphs before Teo returns. Found him, own shacket, standing near pinball section. Thanks, Teo. No worries, anything for you, Acrylic. Bye, Teo. Love you. I roll up my sleeves on my hoodie, ready to put an end to this. Oh, wait a minute. Isn't that arcade newbie from earlier? It didn't seem like a troublemaker at the time. What's going on here? Nope. Definitely this kid. You can see the tiny plastic gadget on their hand briefly before they pocket it. Perhaps noticing my approach, the teenager rolls stealth and gets a natural one, resulting in an awkward and obvious attempt at looking like an unimportant part of the crowd. Hey. Didn't do anything. I mean, hi. Good to see you again. What's up? How are things? Given this living bundle of nervousness, I'm not sure I feel like coming down like a ton of bricks on this poor kid. But rules are rules, right? Excuse me, would you kindly stop doing that? Got things for bunnies, huh? Cute. Let's be comical. What's up, Doc? Huh? What? Okay, friend. Bunnies are cute and everything, but stop messing with the video wall. I don't have to kick you out of here. Got it? Okay, sorry. So obviously we need to like change the video wall so it doesn't work off a universal remote. That would probably be a thing. Block the little sensor thing. I wasn't trying to cause trouble. I mean, I was, but never mind. Okay, I'll stop. But thank you. Bye. And they're gone, slipping back into the crowd. That was weird. What's going on here? I decided to look around a bit more, hoping for some clues. What trouble should I investigate next? Let's look at the Juniper poster. A small crowd is gathered near the back of the arcade for some reason. It's especially odd because there's no games here, just some great wall art and posters that Juniper came up with. It's also especially odd that the crowd is ignoring Queen Bee over said posters.
Come on.
Charming, real smirking charming. Hey, kid, you see this yet? See what? Juniper's marketing must be on point to get that much attention. If only it was, kid. Here, let me show you. Queen Bee pushes past the crowd, glaring at them as she goes.
What the
We're up. Don't you have better things to do? Sheesh, some kids. Some people, sorry. And I see why the locals were swarming and snickering. Juniper made a bunch of posters and decorations based off Ashley's pixel art design for the arcade. All part of our branding and marketing experiment. Except when you draw big old ding dong in permanent magic marker and use that heart as the base, well, it gets rather naughty. Oh my. In fact, which is not lost on Miss Defame, who turns up her nose at the improvised wall art. Great, just great. So yeah, someone's gone and defiled a bunch of our art posters. Fortunately for you, I got a good look at them just as they were walking away from this one. Big guy wearing a pair of blue shutter shades. I'm more into virtual fisting than real world fisting. That sounds very rude, sir, ma'am. But I've got your back. If you need to roll up on this guy, it looks like bad news. Thanks. But I can't have you acting as official arcade security. We don't have official security jackets for starters. Plus, I'm a manager. It's my duty to take on this. Yeah, good luck with that. My advice, call the cops if you have to. This whole situation smells funny to me. Yeah, I think we're being specifically targeted. Just saying. Hey, you. No photos. Queen Bee yanks down a poster adored with pornographic graffiti before it can go viral. She leaves the confrontation to me while she does her part to clean things up. Oh, you look spooky. Doesn't take long to track this guy down. For starters, there's his rather unique fashion sense. Also, I spy him in the middle of another graffiti stint. Hot red-handed. Kinda hard to give him the benefit of the doubt, or even a second chance. He's clearly broken the rules of the arcade. Although, he looks like the sort who could break me if I break the news to him badly. I should choose my words wisely. One involves me staying in one piece. Don't do that, please. It's against the rules. Give that all up and I'll call the police, sir. Ask you to leave. What should we say? What should we say? I don't feel this is a loving situation. I don't know if we need to call the cops yet. This seems awfully full. I don't know. I'm not management material. No. It seems like a Gavin situation. Please don't do that. Let's go. Let's be a little harder. Let's be honest with each other, shall we? I'm the manager here, and I know damn well what you've been up to. Immediately he straightens up, pocketing the item he was committing arcade crimes with, all nonchalant like. What? I wasn't doing nothing. Yes, you were. I know, in fact, exactly what you were doing. And if you continue doing it, I'm calling the police. This is a second chance, a rare one. I suggest you take it. It will not be a third, understand? At first, he growls a little, ready to protest his innocence, before holding himself back. Lucky I'm under orders, nerdo. Fine, whatever you want. And he walks off into the crowd without another word. I'm left in a state of utter confusion as our exchange, but I'll take it, hesitantly. Iris? Yeah, I'll keep an eye on him through the security video feed, don't worry. I'll let you know if he resorts to his nefarious ways. All handled without causing any incidents, although I'm vague on what he meant by orders exactly. That in the bag, I quickly look around to see if there are any other nearby problems I can address. Oh, I guess we can do it all? Okay. Cursing and banging as someone beats up a machine. As I hear the clang and bang of someone assaulting a cabinet, I see Percy holding up a finger grab my attention. I motion for him to join me, and he does. Thank goodness I've tried to grab Ashley, but she was in a hurry, brandishing a plunger like it was a sword. There's so much going on right now. What's happening? Some hooligan's working his way down the retro games, yelling at them, smacking around the joysticks like they're speed bags. I swear, he was going to knock over our joust. That's how hard he was shoving that cabinet. People have been avoiding going near him ever since he started raging out. It's caused quite a scene. I'll take care of it, Percy, thanks. Be careful, love. I don't like the look of this one. Places a hand on my shoulder in solidarity before leaving. Maybe I need backup. That seems like a thing. It happens more often than you think. Someone getting so mad at games that they start smacking the cabinets around. Like pinball, which will go into tilt mode when to punish you. The only justice to be found here is my justice. I am the arcade law. You schmagging piece of schmag game. I totally jumped over that schmagging barrel, schmagging monkey, schmagging, and his schmagging barrels. Even if, well, I'm a little less than eager to bring the law down on this guy. He's got this little ghosty thing. And the other person had a ghosty thing too, right? They're all different colors, like red, blue, and yellow. They're like a super powered team or something. Like, remember the Powerpuff Girls, but the boys? Where are they? Rowdy something boys? Anyways. I am in awe of the size of this lad. He probably eats 6 whole hams for breakfast and bench presses pickup trucks for fun. But I know my duty. I know what I must do. You break it, you bought it. Okay, that's enough. You out now. Sir, I need to ask you to stop that immediately. I think we're gonna get tough. Right, you're done. Get out of my arcade. We're finished here. Excuse me? Did I hear you right? Oh god. This is what I needed right now. From the corner of my eye, I spot Mr. Fame watching. I better stand firm. You heard me. I'm the manager here, and I reserve the right to refuse service to anyone. So bounce your ass out the door before I have it bounced out by the cops. You little. But oddly, his attention is diverted to something or someone behind me. It's only for a couple of seconds, but his whole demeanor changes after that. Fine. Storms off, deciding he'd rather have the last word than argue it further. I turn around to see who or what exactly changed his mind with a sharp glance, but the crowd's too thick. Whatever it was, is gone now. And Mr. Fame returns to the crowd without a comment, hopefully quietly approving of my law bringing. That was odd. I guess a win's a win. Now then, what problem to address next? Aren't we out of problems? Before I continue my quest to purge the arcade of evildoers, I'm interrupted by an onslaught of hard-working staff. I knew it, Acrylic. About our missing inventory.
Oh,
when I get my hands on whoever did this, I found the electrical problem clearly. Sabotage! Sabotage and treason! An enemy agent walks among us. Okay, so we have some insight to what's causing all of these messes. But it's chaotic jumble right now. Okay, one at a time, please. Our suspiciously low snack inventory was indeed not human error. The delivery truck arrived here. Sorry, the delivery truck never arrived here. It was routed to a garbage dump due to a computer error. Or as I suspect. Malfeasance? Okay. Oh, you're gonna say that again. And malfeasance explains our electrical problem too. I don't know that word. I'll probably know if I heard it, but... Remember my joke about someone scuffing their feet and shocking the coin boxes? Nope. It's actually what happened. An electrical shock. Not a grid failure. Someone's got a battery or some other shock prod and was using them to crash games. Must be the same one who flushed a bunch of wadded paper towels and firecrackers down the toilet. It's a war zone in there. I was able to dredge up one super gross chunk of it, but we'll need a professional plumber to get the rest. This is all sounding way too suspicious to be a random act of hooliganism. And it also ties into what I've been handling on the floor. I've had to deal with pranksters all afternoon too. Even had to kick a few of them out the door. Been so busy playing firefighter, running from blaze to blaze with a leaky bucket that I haven't been able to put the pieces together. But now it's clear. I know what I must do. If you all pardon me, time for Miss B's to go kick some ass. Good work, everyone. Wrap up your tasks. I'll handle the pranksters. I think I've got an idea who's behind all this. Let's go with logic. Good work, everyone. I'm proud of you, but the job's not finished yet. Gavin, Ortis replacement inventory. Ashley, find a plumber. Best we can afford. Naomi, finish up replacing all the fried's power supplies. As for me, I'm gonna have to have a word with our miscreant. You know who's to blame for this mess? I got a pretty strong suspicion. Go get him, Acryli. Yeah, we got this. But not a solidarity. All of us split up, each on our own mission to thwart the ne'er-do-wellers. I'm not particularly thrilled to begin this confrontation. My nerves haven't stopped jangling since this morning, but well, my friends are counting on me to lead and to be the responsible one. I can't foist this off on Gavin like I might have done at the Funplex. Finding my quarry isn't particularly difficult. She's been in the background the whole time, watching and waiting as I ran around trying to put a lid on the mayhem. Yeah. She's got the little ghosty too. She's the one who was like trying to use the ATM with a bad credit card. Her eyes study me as I approach, grinning ear to ear.
Hiya. Hi. Hello there. Figured it out, huh?
Yeah, I can't say I understand why. At least I know who. The matching fashion style was a pretty big clue.
I guess a formal introduction's in order. Yeah, okay. The name's Sue. Natural-born leader, hacker extraordinaire, and leader of the Ghost Monsters, the hottest gang on these streets.
Okay, I thought it was Deco sabotaging us, but random hacker group
Pleased to meet ya.
is unexpected, but I guess it's the future. That's what happens in the future. She's playfully courteous. Or she playfully curtsies. Her wicked smile never ceases. Ceasing.
Yeah, I guess my friends were a little wild and crazy, leaning a bit heavy on the pranks. And okay, you booted some of us out. Not all, just some. That's cool. I mean, it's your house and your rules. You're the sheriff here and you lay down the law. And I respect that. Let me make it up to you, okay?
Okay. Sue steps back and taps a button on her smartwatch. Oh. Okay. In front of the crowd of gamers, her whole gang assembles. Even the one I told to get lost. Gang, this is... What's your name again? Miss Bees? Gang, this is Acryli. This is Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde. That's the Pac-Man ghost. And she knows my name. Now then. Turns to face her ghost monsters. You were all very, very naughty. And I'd say she's owed an apology. Big fat I'm sorry from each of you. Don't you agree? Each of them mumbles a semi-coherent, semi-sincere apology. Yeah, whatever, sorry. Really sorry. Gosh, I'm so sorry, Miss Bees. He's really sorry. Oh, Clyde. When they finish, Sue faces me once again. It's
There. Everybody's sorry, which means everybody's forgiven, correct?
I don't know. What was the point of this?
Because, and this is me being real with you, I like this arcade. I really do. It beats the crap out of Deco's Palace, that's for sure. I can easily see this being our new home, you know? I admire what you've done with the place. It's totally awesome, and I'm really looking forward to coming back. Again and again. I definitely don't want to end our first day here on a sour note. No. I'm so glad we can communicate like adults. Apologize for being naughty and move on. Now, okay, we may still ruffle a few feathers while we're here, but that's cool, right? I'm sure you understand that it's all fun and games. Nothing personal.
Okay, so we're being
So,
like
what do you say, Brad?
shaken down.
All's forgiven?
I pause, taking in everything Sue rambles on about. Let me get this straight. You scare our customers, mess with our television sets, and smash up and short circuit our games, clog our toilets, redirect our mail orders, come back here after I told you to get lost, draw dongs on our posters. You want me to smile and let you come back tomorrow? My words barely phase her. That grin still lingers. Yep. Yeah. That sounds about right. I love this arcade, and I think we could be great friends. What do you say, partner? Waiting for my response, she holds out a fist to bump. Are you smigging? Kidding me? Of course not. Sure, why not? I absolve you of your arcade sins. Low, no, get out. If you truly love this arcade, you have to stop causing problems. Rules are rules. You can respect them, you can stay. Let's go for the love now. I don't think we should piss her off. I don't know, she seems like a good resource to have, sort of like a bit of chaos, and like she's like the rogues in the group. And yeah, I don't want her messing with us. Let's try the love. and we'll forgive and absorb the costs. Look, I'm sure you're all good kids at heart, but if I let you hang around here, you can just cause more problems. It's no good for any of us. If you sincerely love Super Duper Fun Cave Uwu, you'll understand I can't let you ruffle feathers, as you put it. You need to make sure everyone's having a good time. Well, yeah, I mean, I get that, right? So, I might be willing to offer you another chance if you promise that you'll follow the rules from now on. That's the best I can do, okay?
No helping it.
Well, I'd like to work with you here, really. But promise is kind of steep to ask. Something's wrong. I'm pretty empathetic sort of gal. I can tell when someone's being legit with me, and she's clearly genuine about wanting to come back, but she seems conflicted. How hard it is not to hack machines and run wild. Why would that be a problem? Okay, see, normally I give you my word is bond, but well, no ifs, ands, or buts. I need your word if I'm going to rebuild trust with you. We don't need to get the police involved here. We can keep this just between us, right? Sue raises an eyebrow at that.
Whoa, put the brakes on. Bad idea, friend. Really bad idea. You don't want to even think about getting the cops involved in this. No. Because, and this is me being honest with you because we're on such good terms, it won't do you any good. We'll be out and back on the streets within a day. We've got friends in high places. We don't sell drugs or weapons. We sell information. And information, as a currency, is far more valuable than what other gangs trade in. So if we're doing this, we don't involve the pigs. Any problems, you come to me direct. That's my rule. Break that rule. And, well, you don't want to see what I can do with the push of a single button.
Okay. So, now you're threatening me?
I'm just telling you how it is. What you do now is entirely up to you.
Okay. But before she can continue her tirade, we're rather rudely interrupted. Delinquent leader. Oh, Sue. The hell you think you're doing here? Thick tension that surrounds us melts away. Redirected at the new challengers. All eyes glare towards them. Oh, great. Okay, Acryli, hold that thought. I got business to attend to. Damn right you do. Ghost monsters don't operate south of 23rd Street. Damn well no, this is lovely chainsaw territory. Get lost or get tossed. If I wasn't confused before, I sure as heck now. All I can do is watch this unfurl before me. I guess we needed to make sure that our arcade wasn't in a turf war. With a clap, Sue summons her buddies to her side. I'm sorry, south of what? I don't recall signing any non-compete agreements with you darlings.
Ghost monsters for life!
Oh, ghost monsters. This locker room gossip queen is disrespecting your fearless leader. What do we say to that? Nobody disses Sue on my watch. Nobody. Yeah, I ain't scared to hit a chick. I'm an equal opportunity, social, maladjusted individual. Think you've got your answer, ladies. Now then. Let's rumble! Oh my gosh. Well, to their credit, they didn't throw the first punch. Where we're talking, hand didn't shoot first level of moral high grounds there. Immediately, the ghost monsters and the lovely chainsaws are at each other's throats, grappling, punching, shoving each other. A baseball bat gets swung and clings off the side of a racing game. Soda cans are thrown. Someone uproots a chair near the snack machine. And that goes flying too. It's chaos. Complete and utter chaos. And it needs to stop now. Iris? Alright, calling the cops, Acryli. As for me, it's funny. When you start the day out, anxiety about what the future may bring. Once that future goes completely to poop, well, that anxiety just fades away. There's something oddly freeing about seeing your world crumble around you. There's nothing left to fear. And that means I can swing into action, ready to face it. Priority 1, get the customers the hell out of here. Gavin and Ashley are already on that. I join in, trying to funnel the panicked crowd of kids and gamers out the door, away from the carnage. This way, hurry. In orderly fashion, please. Out, everyone out! For our focus on loading a place with arcade games and nothing more, it doesn't leave a lot of room to work with. Nor is it much of an octagon for remarkably sloppy mixed martial arts brawls breaking out. We're going to have a lot of game damage when all is said and done. Damn it. I'm not letting that Smeagol get away with this. Till now, it's been the world's sloppiest barroom brawl. Teenagers flailing at each other wildly, generally wrecking the scene rather than each other. But now she's pulling out a gun. Oh. Not some arcade light gun, but real life shooting and killing gun. This isn't happening. Can't be happening. What is going on? Why are there teenagers fighting in an arcade? Yeah, this isn't happening. This can't be happening, but this is 100% happening. The leader of Lovely Chainsaw Gang raises her weapon and takes aim at Sue, trying to end this. But her target is conveniently tucked behind Miss Defame and Gavin. If I don't do something, someone is going to get seriously hurt. My mind races. Calm acceptance washing over me. This is how things will be. No helping it. One chance to do something good in the midst of this chaos. Time slows for me, and I'm trapped in a dream state. Pure instinct takes over me, and I start running towards them. I don't know. They're all... I think... Let's protect Sue, maybe? Because I think she's the one who's being shot at. Get down! Oh my god, don't... That was just like the cupcakes, except it's a bullet. Don't do that. Okay, I think we're dead. Whoa! Random delinquent. Holy schmego! What did you... I was aiming for Sue. Biggs. Run for it! Wait, that wasn't your voice before. Run for it! Stay cool and wipe the footage first. Do it. Stay with us, Acryli. Stay with us. Help is on the way. Oop, we got shot on the opening of our video arcade. Hey, Francine. I guess we're dead. I just wanted to make a dream for everyone to enjoy. That's all. Was I so wrong? Is this what you would have done? It's what you did do for all of us. I guess no good deed goes unpunished, huh? The Bees family curse.
You
Chitch.
have a strong
Oh.
spirit, dear.
Sorry, you're speaking.
You'll get through this. I know you will. But for now, you would best wake up. There's still more to be done.
Bye, Francine. You see a few ghosts in this game. Guess that's the spirits part. Slowly, very slowly, I opened my eyes. The soft beeping of a medical monitoring greets me, as well as an angel in white. Well, an angel in a white lab coat. While they're no heavenly being, they do appear to be my doctor, armed with nothing more than a clipboard. Still a little hazy as they briefly explain the situation. Thanks to my wild theatrics, I startled the shooter enough that her bullet missed its intended target. And instead it went into my leg, which hurts like schmegels, but apparently results in a surprisingly clean shot that I'll recover from in a few weeks easily. 2 days in the hospital, a week or two on crutches, some limping, then I'll be back to 100%. More importantly, no one died. I can live with this momentarily pain as someone else gets to live, period. So, could have been better, could have been worse. The doctors have given me the report. Leaves to treat other patients. Before they do, they inform me I have a visitor. At least there's a plus side. I wonder who it is. Aw, it's Naomi. When I look over to see who it is, I see Naomi standing there, tears streaming down her face. She rushes over to my side, embraces me in a hug.
Oh my god, I was so scared.
Naomi, I'll be fine. It's like a Hollywood gunshot. I'll walk it off.
You were bleeding everywhere.
That's unfortunate. Sorry. Okay. It's a larger than usual Hollywood gunshot. But the doctors say it'll be fine in a month or so. No big deal. I'm trying to downplay the seriousness of it. All does nothing to placate Naomi's frustration.
What? It is a big deal. How could you just toss your life away like that, jumping in front of a gun? How could you
I didn't really have a choice.
How could you try to protect people from harm? I can't criticize you for that. I just got so scared when I saw you bleeding on the floor.
Aww.
I mean, just hours before that, I was mad at you over a penguin statue of all things. It feels so silly in hindsight. I mean, if the last thing I'd ever said to you was in anger.
Aww. Of course, now she's replaced her earlier anger with self-resentment. Not exactly an improvement. Having newfound perspective is great, but it also means you shouldn't be so mad at yourself. It's okay, Naomi. You stood up for what you believed in, and I love you for that. None of us came off looking great, you or I, but we can learn and move on. I don't think that's the right thing. I think we should go with the love route. I offer her a gentle smile and take her hand. I admire you, Naomi. You stood up for what you believed in this morning. Right or wrong doesn't matter. Angry words don't matter. What matters is your spirit. I'm never going to hate you for speaking your mind, and we can't always agree on everything. Arguments happen, and they won't tear us apart. Not ever, I promise you. Even when I'm yelling at you about a silly penguin? Well, I can't say I enjoyed being yelled at about a silly penguin, but I don't think it's going to make me abandon ship either. Naomi sighs and wipes away some tears. I can be very opinionated, let's say, but that doesn't mean I need to yell. Doesn't mean I need to be angry. I can stand up for myself without throwing a fit. Oh, look at her. She's blushing. I guess people in love, argue from time to time. It's normal. But next time, I'll try to do it without the fireworks. And I'll promise the same thing in turn. As long as we remember that we love each other, no matter what. We can talk through any problem. I'm gonna take a lot more than a little shouting about a penguin to make me break up with you, Acryli. I think you're stuck with me for a long, long time. Aww. And I trust you to protect my dream, even when you have to protect me from myself. I hate having to pull you back from that dream, though. You're not. You're helping me be realistic about things. Miss Francine was a dreamer, but she also tried to be realistic. I should aspire to be more like her. I guess I just freaked out a little when Gavin stepped in, and you stepped on my when Gavin stepped in and stepped on my idea. Obviously, he doesn't care about my dreams the way you do. And we're back to Gavin versus Naomi rivalry. When I was only a floor attendant, it wasn't really my responsibility to sort this one out, but as a new boss, I think it's time to put this one to bed. Gavin isn't exactly a fire-breathing monster, you know. He's a mere human with all the flaws. We're one team fighting against the world. He fights just as hard for all our dreams. See things from his perspective, and you'll understand he's trying the best to help us all. Let's do funny. Oh, definitely. I mean, just the other day I saw him howl at the moon, transform into a great and terrible beast, and eat a few villagers. Also, I think I saw him draw a pentagram in the back room and consort with the adversary, the great beast of the pit, the father of lies. Naomi, look, he's just a dude, a human, like you or me. And I think today's proof that humans can make mistakes, even when their intentions are pure, right? Which he didn't like that for a second. Well, yeah, I mean, I understand, but no buts. Gavin isn't trying to destroy the arcade. He wants to save it. You can see now why he was worried about the statue, right? Yeah? You felt bad when you thought you'd lost me after a nasty argument. Gavin feels bad all the time when he makes decisions he knows will hurt us, all while trying to help us. Can you try to get along better with him, please? Try to understand him, instead of falling back on assuming he's the villain. Okay, for you, I can try. I'd like to avoid something like this happening again. I want us to get along, honest. All of us. And speak of the devil of Super Duper Fun Game Uwu arrives.
Apologies.
Am I interrupting? I want to be certain Acryli was well. She'll be fine. We'll be fine, all of us. But Acryli could probably use some rest at this point, Gavin. How about we go raid the snack machine and talk?
Pardon?
Talk? What about? You know, stuff and things. Feel like we never actually sit down and talk, you and I. Naomi offers me a quick but very careful hug before leading a confused Gavin out the door. Hopefully they'll find some common ground. It'll be nice for something positive to come out of this mess that was our opening day. Being the person I care for the most was certainly a boon to my spirit. Boon. Now, if they could only do something about the food here. With my heart calmed, my body finally tells me it's exhausted. I snuggle into the covers and yawn, and a yawn escapes me. Just as I'm about to roll over and drift off to sleep, another visitor drops in. It's likely well past visiting hours, but no small amount of both dread and relief. I'm glad to see her. Miss B. Oh, what was her voice? Miss B's, a word with you. I try to straighten myself up from my pillow backrest. Time to put my professional front, even if I'm in excruciating pain. Okay, I should start by explaining that what happened today isn't exactly indicative of... I should hope it was. It's hard to disguise the disbelief on my face. What? I see I misjudged your character based on initial unpleasant interaction. But what I saw today, clearly, you're no fool nor a coward. I let my need to protect my family override my better judgment. How absurd! You paint everything you built at Super Duper Fun Cave Uwu with that brush, all over such a small matter. I saw you selfishly throw yourself in front of that bullet. You didn't have to do that. You chose to do that. It's indicative of someone who isn't simply in this for the money, as so many in this industry are. Well, I'm not uncertain why you're protecting that young criminal. I suppose someone who respects life deeply enough to even protect someone like her is to be respected. Well, I suppose I become a bit jaded with all those eager to cash in on the arcade scene. All the large-scale arcades I have reviewed tend to be very impersonal and cold. So you were impressed by our arcade? Well, let's not go that far. I can't say I was thrilled with the amount of mayhem and disaster going on, even before a gang war broke out. But I'll also say that I only ever seen that amount of mayhem and disaster once before. Highly unusual to say at least. The last time I reviewed a small up-and-coming arcade similar to yours, everything went wrong. Everything. I wrote my review in honest fashion. The result of my scathing pen. The place was sold and closed down within a month. So too, a notable figure in our industry. Wait, you don't mean... Yes, Deco Nami. Such is the fate of any arcade which dares to stand up to him. Your prior business at the Funplex only escapes being devoured by him, far too small to be worthwhile. Sadly, your enthusiasm may have put it in his crosshairs. And if you cannot tidy up your reputation after today's affair, Super Duper Fun Cave Uwu will be next. Again and again and again, torn down my Deco Nami. This time, he didn't even have to lift a finger. A pure coincidence, the ghost machines wrecked everything before he could exact any revenge. All he has to do is swoop in and buy out what's left of our dreams. However, I have come to a decision. Given I was a first-hand witness to your troubles, which were clearly not your fault, and given your willingness to put even your own life online for your arcade, I'm going to tell my editors I need more time. That I want to return in 1 week to get a more accurate and mature overview of your operations. 1 week. That's the best I can offer you. This is difficult hole to climb out of, Miss B's. Even aside from the troubles earlier, having a gang fight, a shooting transpired at an arcade. Well, the press will feed on this. Even if I was the only press present and accounted for, they'll dig, they'll speculate, and they'll chew on your bones. If your arcade survives that initial onslaught, I hope to write a proper review which I can lay those concerns to rest. But I'll offer you no second chances. No more reasonable doubt. Best foot forward when I return, or my readers will know the truth. Understood? Understood. Then I'll leave you to your recuperation. Bye. With a curt nod, he returns and leaves the room, leaving me with my thoughts. 1 week. Got exactly 1 week to completely rebuild our reputation. Clear the good name of Super Duper Fun Cave Uwu. Otherwise, it's game over. For all of us. Boom. Is that the end of the chapter? We did it! You've cleared level 7 of Arcade Spirits. A winner is you! Now let's see your score. And we're still lovey, despite we did a lot more other stuff this time. We did a little comedy, some logic. We're still in love with... Wow! We got more love with Percy than Teo now. You're proving to be a gentle, sweet, and compassionate soul. Also, you scored 23,750 points. Woohoo! And now, let's have one last pizza fact. 62% of Americans prefer meat toppings on their pizza, while 38% prefer vegetarian. Everyone loves different kinds of pizza, and that's a beautiful thing. You want to save your game before proceeding? Drumroll to the final level. I'll save the game. Beep, 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 beep. We're on page 3. I'll save it one more time. Yeah. Chapter. We're gonna hydrate. So what's exciting? We got Shot, Gang Wars. Just your average first day of an arcade. I mean, we took a bullet for the hacker though, so I imagine that'll give us some respect. Maybe she'll use computer magic to save us. Maybe? Level 8. Kill screen. Oh, that's great. It is a distant year future of 2000XX and oh, who am I kidding? I'll be lucky to make it to 2000XX plus 1 at this rate. I've had my strand of fate twisted back and forth so often, feels like it could snap at any moment. Mired in depression and a supposed family curse, and lifted up by my amazing time at the Funplex, slammed back down by Deco Nami, raised up again by the Super Duper Fun Cave Uwu project, and now descending farther down due to a series of bad coincidences, accumulating in a pure 6 brawl in which I got shot. But today I'm back to Super Duper Fun Cave Uwu, and ready to work despite being on crutches. Normally, I have to mentally filter out the beeps and boops of a busy arcade, but not today. Aside from regulars, no one's here. Not exactly the sight I wanted to see on my grand return after heroically taking a bullet to the leg. 3 days into this ambitious experiment, and it's already looking like a bust. Well, I mean, you had a shooting. People aren't about to come back. Even with a reprieve from Miss Defame, we couldn't hush up the event completely. News of gang violence at a local arcade spread over social media like wildfire. Gavin had me filled in on the details I missed while I was passed out. By the time the cops got here, both gangs were long gone, and the ghost machines wiped our security footage on the way out the door. No arrests made, no evidence remaining. The only plus side, two inner ghost monsters apparently never came back. But even without them actively causing problems, that single day managed to smash our reputation. It's just so disappointing, unreasonable, frustrating, wrinkled up. We'll go love disappointing. I still believe Super Duper Fun Cave Uwu could be a welcoming home for gamers, but if they won't even set foot in the door, they'll never see it for themselves. Put in all this work, all this love to make my dream arcade. All my friends did the same, and to see it all evaporate in a single day is so incredibly disappointing. I don't honestly know how we can recover from this. We could only get the good word out, somehow correct this PR disaster. See that behind a ticket desk, with my crutches propped up nearby. Light duty only for a week minimum, doctors ordered. Tried to mentally detangle this mess. Hey Iris, are we... Yes, we're still trending negatively on social media, like the last 7 times you asked. Any luck with our security camera footage then? Anything we could give the police? It might help our public image to have something to point blame at. No, it's totally wiped, and my file recovery systems failed. I guess that's to be expected when going up against cyber criminals. Like, they even avoided bad press from the shooting. I haven't spotted the words ghost monsters in any of the articles I found about the attack. It's like they're ghosts. Well, not literally ghosts. I just mean they clean their tracks very effectively. Yeah, I got that. Well, we did see them in their corporeal form, remember? At least the whole mess seems to be behind us. Now we just need to dig our way out of this hole. I sigh heavily as the burden sinks into my lungs, and before I can groan further, I hear footsteps approaching me. I lock my phone in pocket before seeing who it is.
Hello.
Hello, Acryli. Good to see you up and about. I'm up, but I'm hardly about. Probably be glued to this stool all day. Yes, well, it beats the alternative, doesn't it? Plus, you've got a nice view of the whole arcade, although a bit quiet in here today, isn't it? Yeah, I know. But we can turn this around. I know we can turn this around. Right. Well, I don't mean to be a bother, but I want to talk to you about our financial situation, seeing as I'm bankrolling this affair and such. As soon as he mentions money, my chest tightens, and I expect the worst. It's not an unreasonable thing to bring up, but can I deal with more bad news? I may have more than my fair share of wealth, but it's not bottomless, honestly. You could see the bottom even before I put my stake in Super Duper Fun Cave Uwu.
Well,
Gavin and I have been going over the spreadsheets. At our current rate, well, I'm afraid we can only have so much padding before we have to consider options. Options like selling. I don't want to, believe me, but there's going to be a breaking point where we need to consider pulling out before our initial investment cannot be recovered. If only to ensure that everyone involved in this fair doesn't go bankrupt. Not so that my stomach turns. The idea of completely draining Percy's finances, well, plan for that money was to turn it over to a charity upon death. And here I convinced him to invest it in my boondoggle of an arcade. Boondoggle, thank you, of an arcade in the twilight years of his life. Something of a grim thought, isn't it? But let's not dwell on the negative, shall we? No point giving up the fight soon after it begins. What we need is a plan on how we can turn these ill fortunes around. What are next steps? Next steps. I can barely take a step with these crutches. Honestly, I'm not sure what to do next. I need some time to think.
Right.
By all means, think away. And if all else fails, well, at least you still got your health. Hold that thought. We got a customer. Hello, welcome to... Uh-oh. Good morning. Woo-woo? I think I'll be moving along now. Mopey to play and all. Remember your health, Acrylic. Try to avoid stress in the next few minutes. I stood there in silence and shock. I tried to tell myself this was just a bad fever dream from my wound, but no such luck. This was 100% real. I watch as Deco takes a look around the arcade, smug grin ever present. See his eyebrow arch as he takes note of people, or rather the lack of people here playing games.
Such a shame. Such a shame.
Seems you're lacking customers today, Miss Bees. Well, I see your usual gang of outcasts and rejects, but that's hardly enough, isn't it? Is it? I'm guessing right now you're thinking, why did I stall? Why didn't I decide to partner with Mr. Nami from the beginning? I could have avoided all this trouble.
Unfortunate.
And yet, when I offered you another chance, an offer I didn't need to make, you felt obliged to be a gentleman. You turned me down. A shame, such a shame. Nope. Can't handle this, not today. What do you want, Mr. Nami? You need tokens and change machines over there.
A pity, is it not?
Tokens, how quaint. Still no swipe cards, eh? Sadly, I'm not come to participate in your sad attempt at an esports community, really. How can you hope to compete with so few games and such meager prizes?
No. I'm here to make one final offer.
Ooh.
If you sign over ownership of this arcade to me, I'll spare your careers.
Oh.
Yes, even Miss Fairchild and Miss Wolf. I'm sure I can find something for them to do at one of my facilities. I want to support your rising star. That's what I've always wanted. We've had our differences along the way, but I want us to overcome them and thrive. But this is your last opportunity. I'll not extend my hand in friendship again.
He really seems keen on us.
If you don't agree to my terms, I'll stand idle and watch as everything burns down around you. You have my word on that.
Wow, isn't he lovely? Okay, obviously I want to say no to this fabulous offer, but at one point do I cut my losses? Miss Francine believed in dreams, but she also believed in practicality and trade-offs. Am I ready to give up everything so that I have something to resembling a future? I don't know. No, we shouldn't give up our dreams. What if we marry Deco, and then we have the arcade, and then we push him in a lake? There we go. That's our plan. That's our plan. Good plan. No, I'm never giving up on my dreams, never. Of course I'm not giving up. I mean, seriously. I had so many opportunities to jump ship prior to this. Why would I bail this close to the end? That's a little fourth wall, but yeah. No, now get the smaggle out of my arcade. Afraid I must follow my own dreams, Miss Nammy. My resolve remains. I refuse your offer. Only if I get a $500,000 salary, 3 company cars, a Hollywood mansion, my own line of designer fragrances. Ooh, that sounds like a good offer. Take that. We're about love. We're about our dreams and stuff, so I can respect that. You dreamed of having rings on every finger, and you did it. And a rose thing with things sticking out, and a tie thing. It's a very, very good stuff. I'm sorry, but Super Duper Fun Cave Uwu is my dream. Dream I shall share with all my friends. There's no way I can sell out that dream. Also, I feel we should have talked about this to our coworkers, but whatever. I appreciate the offer, but I must decline. See, we're being very pleasant about this too. I see. Unfortunate. Very unfortunate. I'd say I admire your dedication with optimism, but honestly, I don't. Real life rarely rewards the optimist. Till you learn how to approach life in pragmatic fashion, I'm afraid you're destined for failure. Time and time again. But, as you like. It's your decision to make.
So be it.
So be it. I guess I'll have to settle for buying the burnt out husk of your business once it ultimately collapses around you. Think you underestimate the damage being associated with the criminal element. I think you underestimate the damage being associated with the criminal element can do, Miss Bees. It's enough to ruin even the mightiest of arcades. Ooh, is that a hint? Oh, and I doubt the ghost machines monsters have forgotten you. They will return. It will make matters far worse for you. Immediately, I take notice. Play it cool, play it cool. Don't let on. Just test the waters. Really? Ghost monsters? I thought the game was called Lovely Chainsaws or something.
A foolish fool.
Yes, ghost monsters, sadly. They insist on naming themselves after that absurd ancient video game reference. Of all the childish immature. He shakes it off quickly enough, refocusing on me. So he sent the hackers to me. I think that's what he's saying. But enough banter, I believe. I'll take my leave. I'll not see you again, Miss Bees. I'll let my lawyers handle purchasing what little remains of you. Good day. Oh no, I don't think we're gonna fall in love with him. Not this run. Once he's out of earshot and well beyond the confines of the arcade, I'll pull up my phone to verify something. Iris, you checked all the news articles from about the shooting, right? Oh yes, I analyzed them all. Did you need me to pull up a specific one? This confirms something for me. The ghost machines were sorry, I keep on saying machines. The ghost monsters were never mentioned by name in any of them, right? Yes. It seems Sue's friends are good at covering their tracks. Why? This is it. This is the chance we need. Admittedly, it's a slim chance, but at this point, I'll take what I can get. Message everyone. I'm calling another... Oh... Wake to events safari? It's an intervention, but it's a wake and a conspiracy at the same time. Oh, you're all fired up. Okay, message sent. I'll need everyone's help to fill in the gaping holes in my plan, but at least now I have a plan, do I? Time for one last ditch to save super duper fun arcade. Ooh. We're gonna do it. Soda. Penguin there, baby. Hacking everyone into the employee break room proved to be tricky. Standing room only, elbow to elbow, but somehow we managed it.
Hi!
Hi everyone. Glad I could be here for this, whatever this is. Yeah, thanks for coming, Juniper. This was it. This is where we'd make our last stand. Looked around the room at everyone, at all my friends, and nodded to each of them determinedly. Okay, no things are rough, but I got, let's say, a good 60 to 80% of a plan for how we can turn things around. Like, we can all agree on what happened wasn't our fault, yes? Someone else screwed us over. Every problem we faced could be tracked back to them. The ghost monsters and the lovely chainsaw may be to blame, but the court of public opinion puts the blame squarely on our shoulders. Our venue is tainted by their actions. We can cry foul all we like, but if there's ever even a chance of violence returning to our doorstep, it'll keep customers away. It's a real bummer. We haven't seen any families here since opening day. Parents just aren't willing to take their children somewhere they know for being dangerous. Actually, I wasn't talking about the gangs. Today I learned who our true enemy is, and that person, Dekonami.
Pardon me?
Pardon, Dekonami? Don't follow, yes. I'm rather miffed over what happened at the Funplex, but he's hardly to blame for our current woes, right? Earlier, when he was taunting me, he slipped mention of the ghost monsters by name. Except those hackers kept their noses clean. They left us with no proof that they were even involved, thanks to our security cameras being wiped. Cops didn't go after them. The news didn't identify them. So how did Deco know about them? Answer, Deco hired the ghost monsters to ruin our opening day. Okay, that makes sense.
What?
That's kind of what I thought at first. But then I abandoned that and thought they were just chaos. What? What? Seriously? Ah, in hindsight, it'd have been obvious. I blame myself for not seeing it sooner. Far too many coincidences to be otherwise, and the fact that they only started wreaking havoc once Mr. Fame showed up, bear witness. I can see what you're throwing down, Acrylic. Sue and her friends didn't seem awful at first. I remember talking to Clyde. They were very nice and friendly. And Mr. Fame showed, and...
Oh my!
Oh my gosh, wait. You think Mr. Fame is involved? Considering she was willing to hold back her review, I don't think she was knowingly involved, but Deco may have gotten wind that she'd be showing up and took advantage. One second. Give me a second. Sorry. Had the cough. Needed more water. It was a thing. But I'm back.
What if?
But you don't think Deco wouldn't stoop that low, right? Hiring some random street gang to mess with us? Would he? Oh, he would. He's a spiteful bastard, of course. He tried to ruin our opening day. The only reason he didn't destroy Miss Francine was out of some sort of weird, sort of gentlemanly respect for our fellow elder business owner. But to Deco Nami, Acryli is basically pawn scum. Thanks. He kind of likes us. I think we could date him if things were different. Maybe it's DLC. To be fair, I doubt he orchestrated the bullet-riddled finale of the evening. That pushes plausibility. True, he wouldn't have even needed a shooting to ruin us. The negative review alone would have done the job. Being even slightly associated with gang would have been awful. If Mr. Fame reported us as a hotbed of teenage chaos, a living enchantment of Lord of the Flies, it spelled doom even without bullets flying around. Guess we're lucky she held her review back. The problem is, we have no proof of this, do we? No way to tie Deco back to the ghost machine monsters, other than him slipping up and mentioning them to Acryli. I doubt he'd even admit to this on the record. Iris hasn't been able to dig up any digital evidence, although there's our eyewitness testimony, which should be enough to warrant some investigation. But for some reason, that doesn't seem to be enough for the police. Huh. I know a few local cops, and how they think. They're not looking into the ghost monsters, odds are they're actually looking into the ghost monsters quietly. Which admittedly doesn't help us in clearing our name. And it's too much to hope that Deco simply confesses to orchestrating the incident that ruined us.
Come on!
That slimy bastard's not getting away with this. I'll beat the truth out of him if I have to. As amusing as it would be, I wouldn't suggest it, love. We need to be smart about this. Undermine him rather than take the direct approach. You mentioned having most of a plan, Acryli. Care to elaborate? Yeah, what's my plan? Well, if Deco won't confess his sins, we need the next best thing. We need his henchmen to flip on him. See, I sense some tension from Deco about the ghost monsters. Call them childish and immature. There may be some bad blood between them. How about we break up their partnership? My plan. 1 second. Sorry. A little stuffed up suddenly for some reason. My plan is to track down the ghost monsters, get them to turn on their employer, and confess to their crimes. Once the media hears it from Sue herself that the incident was all thanks to Deco scheming, they'll clear the good name of Super Duper Fun Cave Uwu. Plan is foolproof. I don't know. I don't know. It seems a lot of extra legwork. I think we should just have an sports tournament or something. I'm answered with a myriad of blank stares and blinks. Don't everyone congratulate me all at once now. Okay, this isn't really me criticizing, but your plan kinda sucks. You want us to track down a bunch of hackers we already can't find and ask them politely to betray the guy who's paying them a lot of money? Between this and the shooting, I'm worried your health insurance premiums are about to go through the roof, Acryli. That's why I said it was maybe 60% of a good plan. Look, we don't have a lot of options, people. Right now, the only ones who can save us are the ones who ruined us, Deco and Sue. I'm confident that we can find Sue and talk to her. I'm confident that if we can find Sue and talk to her, I can get her to see reason. I don't know about that. It's true, Acryli was willing to give them another chance, hear out their side of things before. Sue really seems to like Super Duper Fun Cave Uwu. If there's some disagreement between her and Deco about our arcade, that could be why. Exactly. I think we can get through to her if I try. Hinges on our ability to find Sue. Find an unfindable bunch of ghosts. One Iris can't even track down. And that's where you all come in. All options on the table. I want to hear ideas for how to find Deco's hired goons. Let's fill in the other 40% of my plan to make this happen. And awkward glances back and forth are all I get in return. I get why they're concerned. This is the slimmest of hopes, narrowest of margins. I'm asking them to follow me on a hunch. But I know this can be done. I know I can get Sue to give us the dirt we need to clear our names. Heck, some days feels like all I do is talk my way through problems. If that's my one special skill, I'm going to rely on it for this final conflict. Now, if we could just find her. For that, I need their help. And that means I need to motivate them, like a true leader would. Come on. You want to just let Deco beat us? Let's think outside the box, way outside the box, or way outside. We can outthink, outwit, outmatch Deco. If we can't stop him, Deco's going to ruin our dreams. I don't know. Let's be aggressive. What are we just gonna do? Lay down and die then? Decide it's too much trouble to save Super Duper Fun Cave Uwu? Deco tried to buy this arcade about half an hour ago. I sent him packing because I believe in what we've made, because I believe we can win. We fought so hard to get where we are today. I'm not gonna keep fighting and fighting. I'm gonna keep fighting and fighting until I've got nothing left in me. Are you willing to do the same? Yeah, everyone's smirking. You have my sword and my bow and my ass. Yeah. Wait, no, axe. Damn it. I always get that one wrong. I think that would work too. Gimli used his ass. Everything would have worked out in the second movie. Just saying, just saying. Everyone nods in agreement, and can even see some smiles start to appear. We're all on board. Yay. Now, to just determine how of the plan. Yeah. Decision, finding the ghost monsters.
Perhaps.
At the risk of stating the obvious, why don't we talk to the police about this? They've proven unhelpful so far, but if we go down to the station and fully explain our situation, we may be able to gain the information we need. I feel this would be a reasonable, logic, steady course of action. I'm not so certain about showing up and asking for them to open their files to us, but you're correct. The police would have the information we need. Except cybercrime is a sticky situation. You have to control leaks. If they're looking into the ghost monsters, They won't just tell us outright. The key is talking to the right people. I know most of the cops at Ben and Matt's donut shop by name. And I know the friendly officer that'll help us. I know one friendly officer that'll help us. I don't know.
Nope, no way.
Yeah, the hackers didn't like the whole police thing. I think we need to be on their side. I mean, we already saved their leader's life, right? So I think we need to build on that. I get the cops involved. We already know someone who's got an axe to grind against Sue and her buddies, or rather, chainsaw.
Ooh.
That's right, Queen Bee. We can ask the lovely Chainsaw Gang. They'll be easier to find, and would probably be thrilled to divulge the dirt they have on the ghost monsters. Or they'll carve us up with switchblades. Could go either way. Well, indeed. Yeah, the people who tried to shoot us. I'll admit, this is a super gutsy move, but if we pull it off, we don't need to involve the authorities at all. Alright, got some coffee. This whole situation's a bit sticky for my liking. Cops and robbers, no thank you. Although the alternative I'm about to suggest may be stickier still. Curly first met the ghost monsters at Deco Palace. Yes, they're regulars there. They will investigate Deco Palace and find someone who knows Sue and her mates. Unless they were just there because we were there. If we can find a good friend of hers, make them understand why we need to speak with Sue. Well, we are already on somewhat good terms with Sue, thanks to Acrylic remaining diplomatic about all of this. You should keep that going. I think I attract too much attention if I went to Deco Palace. I show my face around there, it's gonna raise some questions. But my face wouldn't. Deco doesn't know me. I was Funplex adjacent, remember? Rather than Funplex regular. And he didn't pay much attention to me when I was ending that business dinner with you. I'd hazard I could join her without any issue. Yeah, we could slip in and ask about Sue without anyone ever noticing. I say this kindly strategy is an honest appeal to those who may know her. What could be more cordial?
Definitely.
If she's got a single friend in that place, I'll find them. It's a daring mission in enemy territory, but for you, Acrylic, I'll do it. What are you looking at me for? I don't have any ideas. I mean, well,
What?
you could try Googling for her accounts. I'm reasonably sure Iris has already tried that. Iris? Yep. I even used Yahoo, Bing, Alta Vista, and Webcrawler. Ooh, that's fun. Yeah, how do those don't exist anymore? I have no idea what half of those are. Okay. But that's not really what I meant. I mean, checking online forums for our arcade enthusiasts. He loves arcades, right? You might have an account there. I've been rejoining online communities lately. Tried to open up like-minded folks and socialize a bit more on my own terms. Gotta be lurking one of those places. Oh wait, I know. If we can't passively search for her, we can actively call her out. As much as I hate internet trolls, they do get results if we taunt the ghost monsters online. Well, positive Sue's the sort of person who looks herself up constantly, right?
A winner is you.
Of course. And with my help, we can establish a fake account. Spread messages so far and wide that she'll can't miss it. I suggest we use a public internet access point. Keep it from being traced back to Super Duper Fun Cave Uwu, though. Ooh, a road trip! Road trip! I can tell from Gavin wincing at this. He's not a fan. But he's not a fan of Iris in general, so...
Good work.
I like this plan, Miss Naomi. It's pretty quirky, but it just might work. Well, I did say I wanted option. Involving the cops after all the semi-shady things we've done is risky. So provoking a rival gang of... It's always provoking a rival gang of armed hooligans. Those infiltrating Deco Palace, so is... Okay. Sorry. Posting a few troll messages isn't that risky, given how many social media companies actually adore trolls and nurture them for advertising dollars, but it could annoy Sue. All out internet companies. What's the best path forward? Or I can decide. Juniper raises her hand. All these sound great, but Acryli, you're still recovering from an injury. The less moving around you do, the more likely you'll heal nice and quick. You can't go gallivanting around the city chasing down rumors about ghost monsters today. I'm just on crutches, not an iron lung or anything. I'm still mobile. Light duty only. Doctor's orders, remember. But I have a solution to this conundrum. Simple and super effective. Let us do this for you. I figured they would be doing it for me anyway, but whatever. You've had to tackle all these problems since joining the Funplex by yourself. Why not step back and let us handle this one? Well, okay. But I need to be there when we finally confront Sue. While you're out and about, I guess I'll get some rest so I'm ready for tonight. Sounds good? Sounds good. Or maybe we should run the floor. I don't know. These are my friends. I trust them entirely, and I trust that each of these options will work for getting us what we need. So now the question is, which plan do I want to give my Acryli seal of approval? Go to the police, Gavin and Tao. I against that because, like I said, we kind of want the hackers on our side, and I think we're working that way to it. The lovely chainsaw seems like a terrible plan because they were just a random element, and they're the ones who pulled the gun and like shot me. Infiltrating Deco Palace, I'm thinking that's the best plan so far. Although, like I said, I don't think they probably hang out there. I think they were just hired. Trolling the internet might work, but it also might backfire, make them angry. I think I'm gonna go with Juniper and Percy. Use love. Love will bring us together. Okay. Although, I mean, I want to side with Naomi because, you know, we have our love. But we're gonna go with Juniper and Percy. I think our best bet is to keep things quiet, not involve the police or criminals or trolls on the internet, or troll the internet. Just ask around for some of Sue's friends. Juniper, Percy, if you head off to Deco Palace and see what you can learn. It's less likely to backfire. At worst, you'll get arrested for loitering around the place, or you'll get your butts kicked by his security, I guess. Right. Best move along then. You can count on me, Acryli. Bye, everybody. I think we're gonna stop it here. That's right. She could count on me always. Aw. Yeah, we're gonna stop here. This seems like midpoint of the chapter, and it's 12:10. You could go later, but I think this is a good point to stop because we're on the last chapter. I imagine there's a lot of
epilogue, so that should work for next stream. But yeah, here we are. Final chapter. Things going on. Who knows? Go back to the main menu. And yeah, well, that was exciting. We learned a bit. We defused situations. We confronted hackers. We got shot. We had a loving, tender moment. We refused a deal with the devil. And we've sent our soldiers off to get information or die. And yeah. So I imagine we'll finish this off next week, next Monday. That'll be fun. That'll be fun. And yeah, I want to thank everyone. I want to thank the Shadows. Thank you, Shadows. Thank the lurkers. You love the lurkers. Lurkers all love. And thank you to the VOD watchers from the future. I hope the future is bright.